Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa. Only on Coin News Extra TV. Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa.
How we do it on the show is a program that comes your way every Fridays, 12 p.m. West African time. So we talk about startup investment, everything that is happening in the startup investment ecosystem. So we talk about everything there, how investors relate with startups and how startups relate to investors. So those are the things that we talk about during this show. So I'm your host, Lee. So today we are going to be looking at ways to approach investors as a blockchain startup. So we're going to be looking at some of the ways a blockchain startup can approach investors. So do well to like and share this broadcast. We are live across 4 channels: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also on YouTube. So wherever you're joining us from, do well to share and also drop comments if you have any comment about this show. So right about now, we'll be jumping direct to the conversation of the day. But before then, we'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still called TechWares live on Coin Extra TV. So we're looking at ways startups can approach investors. So let's look at some of the ways startups can really approach investors. You know, when you are ready, last week we talked about avoiding venture capitalists, VCs, and if you are not yet ready. Now that you want to approach investors, so what are some of the ways you can be able to approach investors? So you look at one of the key things that you will look at is I'm going to line up some of the things you can look at. You're going to look at your team. You're going to look at your project, how market viable is it, and all the rest of them. So those are the things that you will look at when you're looking for investors. So right about now, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, I will continue with the conversation.
Welcome to Tech Wells. We can see how investment can be for a startup, even for the investor that is investing in any startup. Join us every Friday, 12 p.m. West African time, as we discuss everything about startup investment in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech in Africa. Only on Coin News Extra TV.
To the show is still Tech Wells live on Coin News Extra TV. So let's continue with the conversation. We have to take care of some few things there. So let's look at one of the things you look at, one of the ways you can approach investors. So you can look at the first point there is proposition. So you will be able to articulate your value proposition you need to be able to explain how your blockchain solution solves real-time problems. So these are the things that investors are going to be looking at. So how does your project, how does your innovation, how does it solve our real-time problem? So those are things that you'll be able to articulate, arrange them in a way that, because investors are looking at what is going to solve problems. So those are things that they are looking at. So they need the your startup to be able to be solving real time problems, not about just coming up, and also how are you solving those problems. So you're going to be able to look at articulate your value proposition is very very important. So what are the problem you are solving is important, because that's what is going to make them to be able to look your direction. So another one there is the second one is you have to be able to have a good team. So solid team is so much important. So that's why sometimes you look at some projects. Maybe this 2023, you can look at some project that even came up. They just launched. They started this year, maybe January or February. They have been able to raise X amount of dollars, and all the rest of them. They've been able to do pre-seed or seed round, and you'll be wondering why is it that maybe you have been in the same sector as a startup. You've been there 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You have not been able to raise, or you have not been ready. You are not ready yet to raise. But you see these new startups being able to raise funds, huge amount of money. So the key thing there is the team. So your team is very very important, because that's what these investors are going to be looking at. Now, who are these team members? Who are these guys that we're going to be entrusting our money in their hands? Because you know that investment in the startup ecosystem is very very risky. There is no guarantee that you're going to get your money back, even if the business crashes. So that's why you need to have a solid team. Lay them out. Lay the When you are having your pitch deck, arrange the value, what the position, and also the talents of your team members. So whichever thing they are bringing on board, be able to list it well. You can also include their social media handle, most especially their LinkedIn handle, so that the investors will be able to check them out. Once you have a very good team, you're going to be excellent. When these investors look at your team, they know that you have what it takes to be able to manage this project, because it's very very important having the skills, the capacity to handle that particular project. So it's good that you have good team members. When I mean good team members, solid team members, is people that cover different areas. So you don't have a maybe you are building a technical project, and you don't have a team member that has knowledge in the technical aspect of it. Maybe you have people that don't have basic knowledge about technical the technical aspect of your project. So it's very, very important that you balance your team. So have different people that will cover team members that will cover different areas of your project. So well, let's look at the next in line. The third point there is have a well-defined business model that shows how you plan to generate revenue and become profitable. That's another important. This particular one is the most important, I must say. Is very very important when it comes to interacting with investors, because they are going to look at uh, how are we going to make money out of this. Yes, your value proposition is okay, your team is okay, and now how are we going to make money? Because you can have a good value proposition, you can have good team. If you don't have a good way to how to make these returns, it's going to be very very difficult for them to commit their money. I believe you me, most every investor, not even most, every investor, outside investor, I'm not talking about family members, every investor, real investor, is looking for returns, profit, because it's business. So they are looking at how are you going to make this money. You say you're providing X amount of value and all that. How are you going to translate this value, this solution, this problem you are solving? How are you going to translate it to real money? So this is very, very important. Be able to let them understand how you're going to be able to generate money from this problem you are solving. So when you are able to articulate them, what are the ways you're going to generate money? Are you going to be is it a user a subscription based platform? Are you How are you going to generate it from directly from users? Are you going to do it? Is it a B2B? Those are things they want to be able to understand, and they will be able to look at what are the possible returns. So be able to keep these in mind when it comes to fundraising. So I don't want this session to be long. We'll be taking it this series. So we're going to be taking it gradually so that we'll be able to digest them. So we'll go for a quick break. When we return, we're going to be able to summarize what we've been able to talk, and then we'll continue next week. So right about now, we're going for a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It's still Tech Wells live on Coin News Extra TV. So we are talking about ways to approach investors as a blockchain startup. We've been able to look at some of the vital things you should be able to get ready before approaching or relating with investors. So we've been able to look at you having a clearly articulated value proposition. We looked at having a solid team, and we also looked at a well-defined business model. These are things that you should be able to get ready, and I'll be able to communicate to investors when you are relating with them. I must say, relating with investors and it's not an easy one. It now depends on your connection, because that's very very important when relating with investors. How known are you? How popular is your project? So it's very 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 difficult for founders that are not well known. But if you have a good connection, but it's not impossible for you. You have to build a relationship with this investor, and also when you can send cold mails. But when you are reaching out, do well to make your research. Is good. Is advisable you reach out to investors that are investing in that area, in such kind of projects you are what kind of project you have. So it's good that you look at investors that are looking your direction, not looking at investors that are not investing. For example, if you're a DeFi project, you don't need to start looking at investors that are investing in maybe media or any other aspect that is not DeFi. Not that they will not look at your direction, but you want to be able to get the attention of those that are already in your space, so it will be easier for them to invest in your project. So, in conclusion, it's good that you um, get ready to face these investors. They are not beasts; they are human beings. And believe me, if you have a good project, you're going to be able to get the funding and you get everything. Another thing is having a good project. Again, another thing is you articulating them very well. Some people have good projects that are even providing real-time value and solutions to world problems, but they don't know how to articulate them well, arrange them well, and present them before investors. So if you don't, you can even have a team member that has that ability to be able to relate with investors. It's very, very important. Thank you very much. I believe this. You've learned a lot from this. So if you have comments or questions, do well to drop them on the comment section. We'll be able to look at them. Maybe next edition, next week Friday, same time, we're going to be looking at another topic, and we'll be also look at some of your comments and your questions. So thank you very much. Do well to follow Coin News Extra TV across all social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV, so that you'll be able to stay up to date with what is happening in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech ecosystem, not only in Africa, around the globe. So I remain your host for the show, Lee. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Also remember, we our week in view is coming closer. So by 12:30 West African time, we'll be bringing you week in view, the trending headlines in the world of blockchain, crypto, and fintech. Thank you very much, and bye for now.